Good evening, everybody. Good evening, fellas.
Good evening.
Oh, hey.
As you can all see, we do.
That's
have
only one beer, by the way.
It's not even one yet, Tony. As you can see, we have a very special guest with us tonight, Mr. Tony B. Good evening, sir.
Hey, how you guys doing, man? Well, I really appreciate y'all having me on the show, man.
Absolute pleasure, sir, to have you on. One of the nice guys of the vaping scene. That's for sure.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Good evening, everybody in the chat. Blimey, there's a few in there already. Good to see.
Yep.
Okay, so I can go on Facebook and see the chat on there, right?
Or you can look on StreamYard. You can see private chat and then comments. Click on comments.
Oh, I see the chat. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, I'm kind of new to this. I don't do a lot of live stuff. You know, I do some live stuff on my on the Picky Eater channel. Have you guys ever seen that?
Oh yes, I'm a massive fan of your cooking channel, Tony.
The Picky Eater channel can be massively embarrassing to me, but you know, the first episode of that channel was done because my wife was like, we were eating pizza, and she goes, "Man, that's just disgusting." And I said, "What are you talking about?" What I do is I take the cheese and I pull it back like a blanket, and then I take my finger and I wipe the sauce off. I wipe it on the side of the plate till the side of my plate's got like sauce all the way around. I lay the cheese back down like a little blanket, and then I eat it. And it's delicious. It's great. But it's embarrassing if I do that around, like if I'm at a party and that's what they have is pizza. I'm like, oh, shit. That means I'm going to have to, you'll see me get a plate and you'll see me go off into the corner for a little bit and then come back like, oh, yeah, eat my pizza. So we did that pizza episode as the first one because she said, you have to do that. So I'm not going to do it on Vapor Trail channel, but I appreciate you watching that. Anyways.
I absolutely love it. And that grill you got, the Traeger, is it?
Oh, the Traeger. Yeah, my brother-in-law. Can I get this? Hold on a second. My brother-in-law, he works for Traeger, and Traeger is it's an American company that makes smoker grills, and they're pretty freaking expensive. So luckily, my brother-in-law works there, and I got a good discount. But man, this thing smokes, grills. I've been making a bunch of jerky lately, which I think is pretty cool. Brisket. I even made a smoked beef stew. I haven't done any videos on it yet because, see, the Traeger community can be a little bit like the vape community. If you're totally wrong or you're an idiot, they will jump on you. So,
right.
So I'm like, well, maybe I'll wait until I know how to use it a little bit better before people are like, get out of here, Traeger poser.
They do look an awesome piece of kit, though. Really,
it is. It's a lot of fun. I'm the cook in my house because I'm picky, and that way I know what's in it. And when I say picky, it's not like I'm snooty picky. I'm like I have physical aversions to onions, mushrooms, peppers, and all of those things. I can't eat them, and I really wish I could. I'm like, if I could just eat those things, I could go to any restaurant or anybody's house and be like, sure, I want a whole plate of that. But I can't because it's like I eat it, I want to throw up. So anyways, that's the picky eater. So I cook around the house so that, so I figure why not do it on the channel?
It's great. I love watching it personally. The wife wants me to spend a fortune on smokers and all sorts. So I blame you, Tony, completely.
Cool. Hey, if I can get anybody cooking and smoking, that's that kind of smoking, then that's good.
I was going to say, I think you can build a smoker quite easy, can't you? They're not too hard to
You really can.
Yeah.
You can also use like a Weber grill or any kind of pot-bellied grill, and you can just take a can and put wood chips in it and get that to smoke. So I mean, but this is one of those wood pellet smokers, so it uses the little wood pellets. You can get any kind of wood, applewood, cherry, alder, whatever, and it's a little funny, but it does actually make a difference. And then you just fill up a big hopper in there, and it uses an auger to push them through, and it goes into a little fire pot, and that's what makes your fire and your smoke up to 500 degrees on that thing. So it's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Yeah,
very nice.
All right, so everybody's geeking out on my grill, but what's up, Rabbit?
We always get sidetracked with food, like always.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah, food is good. We love
more food just in here.
None of us are actually little fellas, so we
Me
enjoy it.
neither, really.
No. Well, it makes us harder to kidnap.
Well, that's true. And easier to find. It's a bigger target.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll
Unless
always
you're
notice us. I was going to say, you'll always spot us like an expo a mile away, especially when with Vinny.
Yeah. In his blue dungarees.
So Ryan says, stick versus pellet. Very elitist, the smokers. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I just got this thing, so I don't really know. All I know is that it's like a $1,200 grill that I got for $500. So I'm like, I couldn't pass it up.
Ryan's a good personal friend of mine, Tony, and he does a lot of smoking. He's got a big smoker in his garden. He does a lot of briskets and things and all sorts.
Yeah, I'm learning, and oddly enough, my first thing that I made on that, which is probably was potentially a huge mistake, it was a brisket that was the size of my torso. $45 I found that thing for at Walmart, and I went, $45, geez, because at the grocery store a little one's 30, so I was like, why not? And it fed my whole neighborhood. But it was good. It turned out good. I just followed the directions.
How many hours to smoke that, Tony?
That was about it was about 9 hours.
Yeah.
It was a long time. It was like 9 hours at 225 or And then this thing has a super smoke mode that runs the fans because it uses fans to do convection. So it runs the fans at intervals so that it puffs the smoke so that it extra smoke under stuff.
The flavor. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm geeking out. I'm getting hungry. It's Friday, so I'm like, woo. Friday at what? 3 o'clock? Beer 30,
Definitely time. But yeah, I'm presuming everyone in the chat will know who you are, Tony, because there seems to be a lot of love in the chat for you tonight already.
I really appreciate that, dude. I also noticed on your post that I got a fair amount of love, and during these times, it's not quite the same now, and it's nice to see that people appreciate you, man. This guy here said Tony and I had a great time at Mohegan Sun. I bet I don't remember. Just kidding.
I'm guessing with him saying Avid Live Team, that would have been Rabbit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because Rabbit used to be part of the show, Tony. He used to be one of the panel members. He was our American correspondent that we was talking about earlier.
Oh, right.
So Rabbit used to be on every week with us. While he was at the shop as well. So it was, And
I will say Mohegan Sun was a really good time. Every time I've done that, it was like, man, I mean, you're in a place that has, a whole mall in it, restaurants, all that kind of stuff. Plus just, the community and good times. It's a lot of fun. It's a casino too. So
there's a little question. I don't know if Christopher Mossman is actually taking the mickey there or not. I think it might be with the smoke.
He is.
What?
So introduce yourself, Tony.
Oh, well,
Where do you start?
I'm pretty loose when I do these shows, but yeah, man. Well, I'm Tony B. Grew up in San Diego. I actually go that far back because I want to point out San Diego, California. When I was a teenager, when you were in high school, you could smoke in school, even though it was illegal legally, as long as your parents signed your smoking pass. Because there were so many kids that were smoking behind the racquetball courts and stuff that they just said, look, they set up a fenced area and they said, as long as you sign the smoking pass and you say your kid can smoke, who are we to say? So they would let you smoke. And I smoked, man, probably from 6th grade all the way until 2013. So mom signed my smoking pass in high school. And she was like, well, look, if I don't, you're going to get in trouble. That's what I told her. I'll get in trouble because I'll go smoke somewhere else. And she said, all right, whatever. So signed. Everybody in my house smoked. It was like a freaking smoke factory all the time. So when in 2013, I had moved across the country because I worked in radio. So I went from San Diego to Vegas, Las Vegas to Memphis, Tennessee to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, which is where I live now, Kill Double Hills. From here to the Jersey Shore, and then back here, all in that radio career. Because man, after 16 years in radio, I got to the point where I was like, radio used to be show business, it was cool. Like, you know, if you were on the radio, you were like, my on-air name was Kramer. It was like, yeah, dude, Kramer, man. Or if somebody heard your voice at a grocery store, they'd be like, dude, I listen to your show every night, that kind of stuff. But nowadays people don't really care about radio. So radio didn't transition well. So anyways, I got out of radio, came back here. And when Mom came to visit me from San Diego, now North Carolina is a tobacco state. A lot of the tobacco that we have is grown in this state. Back then in 2013, they were very averse to vape. There were no vape shops. The only vapes you could find were the blue cigs or whatever. I tried those and I hated them. I was like, nah, I'll just smoke. I love smoking. I'll smoke until I die, you know, and I probably will because of it. Anyways, I was so in love with smoking, but Mom came to visit me in 2013 and brought me a VV Nova Mini tank and a Ego pen and some Bonnie and Clyde from Villain Vapors. It was a mixed berry flavor. And she was like, I want you to try this. And I was like, Mom, I have tried that crap. It's no good. I just like my smokes, you know? And she was like, no, you got to just try it. And I used it with her for a day. And I was like, you know, I think I could do this because I could feel that nicotine. She probably had a 12 milligrams. And I could feel the nicotine, but it was a little much for me. I was getting a little bit of a head rush. So I went to a website and I bought some 3 milligram and some 6 milligram. And I said, Mom, I'm going to do this. And she went back home. And within 2 weeks, I had quit cigarettes. And within 2 months, I had watched a lot of YouTube channels in that time. And I knew what I liked and what I didn't. And I noticed, well, first of all, being a former radio personality, I was like, got to keep everything short, man. You know, 45 seconds in and out, get that song going, you know, that kind of thing. So when I was watching Pete Basardo, and we've had this conversation, him and I said, man, Phil, first video I watched was the VV Nova Mini tank. You look like a normal dude, so I thought I'd watch it. And yeah, you went for, I don't know, it was like 45 minutes. All I needed was 5 minutes of that. And so, yeah, so that was one of the catalysts. Also, I watched a lot of videos from Twisted, which I love him. But I was like, if my mom watched this guy, she'd be like, this is not for me. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, no cursing, short as I can for these videos. And, you know, I also noticed that the backgrounds, a lot of times there was a lot of vapes in the backgrounds and stuff. And I was so distracted. I was like looking around like, what was that? I had to keep rewinding. And I was like, no, on my channel, I'm going to make it just a black background so there's no distractions. And that's what I went with until I cleaned up the room and put my guitars on the wall and everything. I was like, this is much better. Now this is a functional studio because I do a lot of photography work. So I've got a little station over here set up for photography with a light box and all that. Over here is where I do my stand-up stuff for when I'm the up close. I've got a camera set up there. And then, you know, sit down right here for this part. So it's really functional now and it's really good. Anyways, I will divert sometimes. Anyways, after 2 weeks quitting, starting the channel and everything, I kept doing the channel and was only doing like maybe 2 videos a month, you know, because I had to set up a green screen and all that. I finally made this room into a room where I could do it every day if I wanted to. And I met a few people in the industry. I actually got to know the owners of Villain Vapors that got me off of smoking in the first place, which they loved. And they were very encouraging. They were like, you should really push this channel, man. You could go to the expos and stuff. You could come hang out with us. And I was like, yeah, maybe I will. And she was like, you know, Lisa, the owner, she was super encouraging. So that was one of the things that got me going to the expos and all that. And it culminated in being able to design a couple of mods because I met the right people. And the first RDA that I did was the Pulse 22, which was just a wonderful little squonking RDA. But yeah, man, I've had a super good time with all of this, and I've met so many good people and just had so many opportunities. So super grateful. Don't know where everything's going to go with everything that's going on in America, but we're going to see.
Yeah,
there we go. That's it. Did I get it right?
that was superb, Tony. The full back history of Tony B from start.
Yeah, I'm kind of like wind him up and I'll go.
We're very used to that on here. I'm very grateful when we have someone like that.
That's cool. Yeah,
There's
I know
a
how
lot
it is.
of-
I interviewed a lot of people working in radio, and worst case, Joan Jett. One time we were doing a big concert in Las Vegas, and I was backstage, and they were like, "Hey, you're going to interview Joan Jett." I was like, "Sweet." So they brought her over, sat her down. She looked pissed off, drugged up, and not real happy to be there. And I was like, "Hey, Joan, listen, I totally get it. I want to get out there and party a little bit, so let's do this real quick." And she's like, "Mm-hmm." So we go on the air, and I'm like, "So Joan, you got a new album?" Uh-huh. Silence. I'm like, "Okay, so are you like sticking to your roots? Are you going back to, the Runaways?" And she's like, "It's new." I was like, "Oh my God, this is not going to be a good interview." Yeah. So I know what you mean.
That's quite amazing. Sorry, we're getting a lot of love for your guitars in the background there, Tony, as well tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Flying V, this is not a full Gibson. This is an Epiphone. But oddly enough, when I was working in radio, Lenny Kravitz had autographed that. And I was like, yeah, I was supposed to give it away on the air.
Supposed to.
But I was the program director and the morning guy. So I was the boss. So I was like, yeah, we'll do that. And then I didn't. This one I bought in 1982. I was a young lad. And it was my first kick-ass. This is a real Gibson. This is a Gibson Explorer. Got a little ukulele hanging up there. I don't know if you can see that. That Strat right there, it's a nice American-made Strat, which is good because, if you're into Stratocasters, you don't really want the Mexican ones, but they're good still, but American is better. This one is autographed by the band. Do you remember that band, Default? They had that song, "Wasting My Time."
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, I do.
They autographed that. I was also supposed to give it away. I did not. And then the blue one back there, I just recently bought that. It's a Telecaster. I'm getting older, so now I'm trying to, not just do metal, a little bit of everything.
Nothing wrong with Italian, my man. I mean, I sold musical
it.
instruments. I sold musical instruments for years. It's what I did for.
Oh, nice.
I managed a guitar in my music shop, guitars, basses, drums, and we sold guitars for years. So not a lot.
This one is it's a reissue of a 55, I think is what it is, but still over $900.
Yeah, they're expensive, man. They've
It's
shot
my
up in
vice.
value.
Well, I've been writing a lot of music lately. So I'm kind of stoked about that. And then people go, "Well, for what are you going to what are you going to do with it?" I'm like, "Write it." I don't know. It's not for anything in particular. I just want to write music, And oddly enough, I hate to admit it, but I like pop. I like pop music lately. I'm like, "Ooh, okay. Machine Gun Kelly. This is pretty cool." Taylor Swift. I like some Taylor Swift. I'll have to admit it. I know it's totally not usually okay, but hey.
I've got a real bad image of some dad dancing going on.
Well, I was gonna say,
I don't do that. But
my wife will love you if you say you like MGK. She's over here yeah. She's MGK.
Dude, I'm telling you. But the latest album from him though. Okay, so I grew up in an area of San Diego that was near Poway, California. That is where Blink-182 came from. I knew Blink-182 because they used to come into my record store. I worked at a Sam Goody Records, and they used to come in there and they would special order Pennywise and Bad Religion and stuff like that because record stores didn't carry that in the mainstream ones. But so Mark Hopkiss, the singer from that band, from Blink-182, is pretty much the producer. And it sounds to me like the Machine Gun Kelly, the new album, is pretty much a Blink album.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot. Travis Barker had a lot to do with it as well, and
right.
There's definitely that influence in there, 100%.
So if anybody's a fan of Blink-182, I have a fact for you. Blink-182 used to be named Blink, all right? And that's when we used to play them on the college radio station and all that. They changed the name because there was an Australian band named Blink that was already out there and already copyrighted and everything else. Changed it to Blink-182 because there's 182 in The Godfather. Fucks. Okay. Anyway.
182 Foxy in Godfather. Cool.
Yeah.
That's an interesting fact.
So,
I did not know that.
There you go. There you go.
No, I didn't know that.
Tony B's full of facts, man.
Yeah.
You guys are catching me on a day where I'm in a really good mood today and having beer, so you got the best version of me.
No, we get we could geek out over music and bands and stuff like that anytime.
That's cool. That's cool.
Probably the biggest band we had in the old shop I used to work in. There was a flat above, and that used to be used by Muse as their rehearsal room.
Yeah.
So they used to come in the shop quite a lot, and well, they're all Devon boys from where I'm from. They're just down the road from a little seaside town called Teignmouth, which is a proper
I've heard of
sleepy
that.
seaside town. And that's where Muse are from. And they all moved to Exeter, and that's where they sort of became Muse, I suppose. And like I said, we used to hear them rehearsing on a Saturday afternoon above the shop. Like, what is that horrible noise? and boom, Muse, probably one of the biggest bands in the world. You know,
I really liked them. Yeah.
And
they also had a song on Rock Band, which for any band at that time was like a big deal, right? Because everybody was like playing their song, you know. Didn't they? I'm pretty sure Muse did.
I think they did. Yeah,
The first Rock Band. Oh, we played that a lot.
I saw them at the Lancashire Cricket Ground a few years ago. Absolutely amazing live.
Yeah,
I need to come back to the UK and bring my wife. She didn't get to go because it was work and all that, and I didn't get to stay very long. You know, that's what sucks. It's like, when you're there for a show. Like when I was doing the expo, what's the one in London at the O2?
Vape Jam.
Yeah, Vape Jam. When I was doing that one, they paid for my flights and stuff, so I was at their disposal. I mean, and happily, but you can't do much. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're gonna pay for my flights? Yeah, I'm there. Let's go. But I tell you what, I really enjoyed over there, and the thing I like the most, the crisps.
So many Americans say that about the crisps.
I know that's ridiculous, but I love the crisps.
Please tell me you got to try crumpets as well.
I did try crumpets. I did. I like British food. People told me, "Oh, you're not going to like it. It's bland." I'm like, well, first of all, it's not, because there's a lot of Indian food that's fantastic, wonderful food. Also, for somebody who's a picky eater, a breakfast sandwich with a ham and egg and some HP sauce is perfect. Which, by the way, HP sauce, love HP sauce.
Oh, you see,
It's kind of like our Heinz. It's like our Heinz 57, but it's a little bit sweeter, maybe. I don't know. You don't like HP?
I actually found out the other day what the HP stands for.
Houses of
House of Parliament.
Yeah, I only found that out like 2 days ago. I was really shocked.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Seriously, Vinny, revoke your British citizenship right now.
I mean, come on.
Handy
Big
your
picture on the bottle and everything, but I
looked at the bottle and knew that. I was like, oh yeah.
See, even Tony knew what it meant.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think move to Canada. It's fine.
I think my favorite crisps, though, like if I'm just picking my run-of-the-mill favorite crisp, that's going to be the prawn cocktail from Walker's. I know that's just general, and everybody's like, yeah, it's Walker's. There's better ones. I like the Skips, but Skips are not the same thing. Okay, no. Prawn cocktail chips from Walker's are crisps, are actual crisps. The others are like they're almost like a Catholic wafer. You put it on your tongue and it's they're good.
They're kids crisps. I'd call Skips kids crisps. That's what.
Yeah.
I mean, I do.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Kind of like they give them Cheerios here in the U.S. Like here. I also like the Space Raiders. Is that what they are? Space Raiders.
I knew you was going to go that route. So many love the Space Raiders.
Which ones though?
I like the beef. I like the beef, but the pickled onion now, oddly enough, as a picky eater, you'd think I hate onions, but I love the pickled onion as well.
Yeah. I sent Rabbit a little while ago. I sent Rabbit like a UK care package of all his favourite things, and sent him a load of beef Space Raiders and all those and Monster Munch and all those good things.
Monster Munch, Monster Munch roast beef, and Monster Munch also has the pickled onion.
Yes, they do.
Maybe that's the ones I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the pickled
really
onion.
Quite strong pickled onion, the Monster Munch.
Very.
Yeah.
It's a very vinegary. So I don't like it.
It's okay.
I see we've got Brian in from Vapor's Cloud. It's a shame he wasn't popped in last week.
Hey, Brian.
We had Brent on last week, Tony, from
cool.
Bearded Viking Customs. Spoke very nicely of yourself, as you'd expect.
Yeah, he's supposed to be sending me some of that biltong. Biltong?
Biltong.
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon, apparently.
He said he was going to send me the wet biltong. I'm like, well, that sounds sexual.
But yeah, he put we do a section normally called the Cool Wall, which is a bit like the Top Gear Cool Wall, if you've ever seen it. Someone would nominate a vape device, and he nominated the Abyss. So we discussed everything around the Abyss, and then we all voted, and it got put on the highest section of the Cool Wall.
It is such a good mod, and I don't understand why. I guess I do. Facebook is Facebook, and social media is social media. People are just sometimes going to be dicks. It's just how it is, right? So, so it's like, but I just don't understand why people have to. It's like if you don't, most of the people I think that are complaining about the Abyss or saying that they don't like it don't have one. I'm like, get it, and you'll see. Yeah, I mentioned that it was heavy in my video, but that's just because it's the only thing I could find that I didn't like. I was like, and it's not that I didn't like it. It's just that I wanted to point out something. So it's not like, oh, Tony just is gushing about it. You know what I mean?
It's you have to try to find one thing, don't we? Every time we do a review, we've got to find something negative.
Hey, by the way, the replacement tanks that Brent is making for that Abyss, dude.
I've seen his pictures this week. They've been amazing. I mean, Brent
I gotta have
amazing stuff. Yeah.
Tanks with the matching tubes for the batteries as well, with the acrylics. Beautiful. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful work.
He's somebody that I think more people need to know about, because there are so many people that have older tanks that he's got replacement stuff for that they just think as soon as it breaks, well, I guess it's trash. And they're not. I mean, geez, there's some good stuff out there.
Yeah, I need to get to make me some tanks. I've been on some tank breakages recently.
Oh, you have?
But yeah,
so are you a dropper?
Literally. So they saw this one. I got this replaced the other day. So this is the steam tuner's cap on top of a tripod.
Okay.
Literally, I was live on air, and it literally just split, didn't it? Like literally,
fell to pieces in his hand as he was filling up the
kitchen. What? So I emailed Steam Tuners, great. They sent me a new one out from Greece. It was here in 3 days. Awesome. Do you know what I mean? And I also had another Steam Tuners cap on my GT4, which then I knocked over onto my keyboard, and it smashed. Sorry,
I'm just laughing at Brian.
So yeah, this is currently my GT4 with with no tank.
I just got a tripod. So you like the tripod? I don't know how to take it apart. I have to download the manual.
I got 2.
Okay.
It's my go-to.
I just got the black one, the DLP?
DLC, the diamond light potent one. Yeah, I put in the pre-order for one because they were limited, and you had a 24-hour window to buy it, and I missed it. I forgot, and I missed it.
Oh, I've done that.
And it was expensive, It was, by the time I got the shipping and stuff, because it was all from Greece, it was working out like 180 odd pounds, which is too much really for an RTA that I've already got 2 of.
Well, shipping is a problem, but it's about to get even more of a problem here. So
definitely, yeah, that's why we had Rabbit on 2 weeks ago. He was bringing us back up to date with things and all the vape mail bans, and obviously now Facebook are banning the use of the word vape mail on top of that as well, which is
I did not know that, so that's good to know.
Yes, there's been some vape groups been shut down and threatened to be shut down.
I think they're hitting groups more than anything, because I have my Vapor Trail channel page, right? Yeah. And I'm pretty careful on there, but there's been several times where I've said vape mail in the last couple weeks because it's it's the topic.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have to look, but I don't think that. But yeah, it's pretty sucky. Now I will tell you that there are some things in the works. People are talking about doing different things, and there's some. You have to think. This industry is very big here, and people have put a lot of their lives, their money, their families, and they have a lot of people's jobs at stake. They're not going to just lay down. Some of them were like, I just can't do it, and I get that. But A lot of these companies, I think, will band together. There are some smaller carriers in the U.S. I've talked to a couple of important people about a couple of things. One thing, check this out. So in America, we can buy guns online. I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. So I can buy a gun online. I can buy it from another state and have it shipped here, but I can't have it shipped to me. It has to go to what's called an FFL. That is a federal firearms license holder. So in other words, a gun shop that is a federal firearms license holder, I can ship it there. Okay. And then when it arrives there, then I go there and I pay a fee to collect my firearm. He then has, now in the firearm world, they have to actually do the background check right then. When you go to pick it up from the gun dealer, he does background check, takes all about 10 or 15 minutes. And once that background, it's a database thing, man.
Yeah. 10, 15 minutes. There you go.
Yeah. Now, some states, you don't even have to do that. You just go in and pay the fee, and then here's your gun. So they do the background check, and you get your gun. And so what I'm saying, though, is that we could do a similar type of thing. So say a vape shop that can't afford to stock every item that one customer might want. I might come in there every week and need cotton, or you know what I mean? So, and I want this specific kind. I can't order it online, but I could order it online and have it sent to them. So B2B, right? So it's just going straight across. So it goes to that business, maybe call it Vape Locker, right? So they hold on to it. I come in there to collect it. I give them $10 for the shipping fee or whatever the fee is. Maybe it's $15 because you got to pay the shipping fee and their fee, right? But it'd be better than not being able to get it.
Definitely.
And now I had somebody, when I was explaining this to an executive, and he was like, but won't the vape shops be upset about that? I mean, you're not buying it from them. I said, the vape shops make maybe $5, maybe $10 if you buy, I don't know, a mod or whatever, you know. So what's the difference if they make it from them stocking it or it actually just coming in and you giving them the money? Either way.
As long as
and they're like, that is a good idea. I said, I mean, think about it. Call it Vape Locker. We could put a sticker on the window of every vape shop that accepts Vape Locker. And now I know this is my shop. They have Vape Locker. So I'm going to order something from Element Vape or Vapor DNA or My V Pro, and I'm going to have it sent to these guys because they don't carry it. Good idea, right?
Damn good idea.
Very good idea.
Well, there we go. B2B can be done.
You see, we knew someone would come up with something that would work. It's just got to be done.
Even when I pitch that idea, though, they go, well, I don't know, because this and that. I'm like, dude, this sounds like a no-brainer to me. I'm no super businessman, but sounds like an easy idea. Everybody wins. They make money. I get my stuff, and that shop gets to sell their stuff.
Yeah, and it's survival.
Yeah,
Let's be honest. That's what it is. It keeps the business ticking over. If a vapor's going in to collect a device, you're bound to stand there and look at the juice, end up picking up a couple of bottles of juice, maybe coil, cotton. I will tell you that I think that, and I'll try to keep this part short, but I think that is the end game. Is anybody that doesn't know about the Master Settlement Agreement, go to YouTube, search Master Settlement Agreement, watch the first video because it's short and it's like, duh. Okay, well, it makes sense. So here's the deal. I think that, the government is like, well, okay, the tobacco industry has tried to get in on this vape thing, but they haven't been able to because we've been shunned by the community. So we got to take this over. I will tell you that about 8 years ago, one of those big tobacco companies put out a full-page ad in the New York Times saying that by the year 2025, they vow to stop selling combustible cigarettes. Okay? This is around 2008. Okay, so all of the companies now have said something similar. This is around New Year's. It was like, hey, our New Year's resolution, we're going to stop smoking by 2025, right? Okay. So it's all part of the plan, man. Think about this. Okay. So, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all because I'm pretty familiar with all this. The government wants to basically squeeze all of this out so that they can just hand it over to the tobacco companies because they get their percentage from the tobacco companies and all they get from us is taxes. Yeah. Okay. They want the taxes and the settlement money.
So if the tobacco companies are selling you your vapes, then they're okay. But if we are, they're not okay. And that's what it really comes down to. So what they've done is tried to eliminate every possible way for, through legislation, but they haven't been able to. So they go, well, I know what we'll do. When they did the latest coronavirus thing, they threw an extra thing into the PACT Act. They revised it saying that no vapes can be shipped through USPS, knowing that FedEx and UPS would probably follow suit. Now, if you just cut off the snake's head, then there you go. And to bring that home, around Christmas time, I have a couple of my friends have kids around 20, 25 years old, right? So I took a couple of them out to get some Christmas presents for their moms. And as we were out, went to a bar and we're vaping. And I noticed, I'm like, you guys have views. Why do you have the views? One of these guys, he's 25 years old. For a year, I was giving him free vape stuff. I got it. Why not? I'm trying to keep him off the cigarettes. Well, he stopped asking, so I thought maybe he just stopped altogether. But no, he was using views. So I asked him, I said, so why are you using those when I could give you free stuff, man? He goes, I don't know. This is just easier. I could buy it at the grocery store or anywhere I'm at. I don't have to carry around, juice and all this stuff and, no leaking. And I'm like, okay, just stop. What it is it's normalizing. Okay. So I just read a Bloomberg article yesterday that said that the Altria company now is asking the FDA. It's on my Facebook page. The Altria group is asking the FDA to help them to educate the American people and convince them that that nicotine is actually not so bad. Actually, not much worse than caffeine. I'm like, you MFers. That is exactly what we've been saying all along. But you see, if it's their vape, it's okay. If it's ours, it's not.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
So now they'll normalize it so that it's just normal to go buy your views instead of buying a pack of cigarettes. And by the way, they're giving away the views now. Well, in America, you can't give away any tobacco product. So you can get a views for 99 cents because that is the minimum you can charge to give away a product that is a tobacco product.
Wow. So
you get a views for 99 cents, comes with one pod, enough to get you hooked. And then your pods are like $6.
How do you feel about the disposable pods, Tony? I mean, I don't like them, but I see that they have a purpose. Yeah. The reason why I asked this is because there's been a little push here in the UK to try and get them banned.
I don't hate any vape, to be honest with you. Even views, I guess. Like, bottom line is, I don't want you to smoke cigarettes. Okay, so I get it. Somebody like my mom, I have a friend here in our little community that's 70 years old. She smokes and she wheezes. So I've been trying different things. I gave her first like an Inokin device that you fill. And she messed up and the coil wasn't in there right and it leaked. And she just, I give up. I was like, whoa, don't give up. Let me try another thing. So I gave her something a little bit easier. No, that didn't work. So I ended up giving her a stick vape pods, and she loves it. Now she loves it. And then I did give her one where you can replace the coils and fill the pod and all that. But, she prefers the other. So bottom line is, if she's not smoking, well, shit, I win. That's the bottom line. So I don't know. I think that, and the argument that, well, they make trash or waste or whatever. Well, look, I don't know how exactly it is over there in the UK. Yes, I do, because you guys had plastic water bottles everywhere. Yeah. So if you drink 3 bottles of water a day, well, there you go. That's pretty much one of those pods.
I got sent the Geek Bar ones to review and have a little
play with. Which one is that?
Geek Bar from Geek Vape.
Okay.
It's their disposable pod, and these actually come fully to pieces. They just pop the bottom off, and they're 93% recyclable. Wow. The question is how many people actually, the bottom you have to break it to do it, but that just comes off, and then everything, the cell can go in the battery recycling, the whole plastic tube can be recycled as well. The only bit you can't recycle is the tiny 2 mil pod inside it.
I don't know that too many people are going to do it. But
No.
the fact that they're conscious of that and doing it's almost like Innokin, you know. Look, hold on a second. Innokin has been making their stuff more eco-friendly. So like all of their packaging is now just plain cardboard stuff. It doesn't look like Apple stuff anymore, which is fine. And it's all kind of a little bit flimsy, but I don't mind that. I love that because that's one of their things, 100% recyclable packaging. And a lot of the stuff they're recycling. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I don't really know where I was going with that.
The thing is, I think we've sort of.
I think that they're eco-minded is what I'm trying to say, and that's at least the company is being responsible. And if the people aren't, well, people are people.
Yeah,
I think with those more sort of like mass-produced mods as well, where that packaging is being used tens of thousands of times over, it's really important that it's recyclable,
Right.
With some higher end mods and stuff, you don't see it as much, but there's a lot less packaging involved. They might be making 100 mods a year rather than 10,000 mods a year or whatever the amount is. So, and most of the time with like all my high end stuff, all the boxes are kept. If I want to sell it, I've got all the packaging, all the boxes. Whereas with lots of my cheaper devices, the boxes have just been binned. I'm not going to keep the box because it's just taking up space, but at least it's going in the recycling. That's the thing.
Right. Yeah, I keep all the boxes for my high-end stuff, and I recently I've been selling off a bunch of stuff because I'm like, well, okay, knowing that the vape ban is coming, I have a handful of maybe 10 or 15 devices that like, okay, that's my jam. All right, I'm keeping those devices. This is my stuff, maybe 20, but I don't need to have 400. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, well, before this mail stuff, I've actually been told that individuals like myself, if I go to the post office and just individually send something to somebody, that you can do that 10 times per month. You have to declare it. You have to sign up at the post office and all that stuff. They ask that question every time. Is there anything liquid, perishable, hazardous? I say, nope.
We get asked that here as well. We're not supposed to send liquids through Royal Mail anymore.
Right.
Nope. No liquids.
I don't know. Oh, geez, something snuck in there. I don't know. No, but so I just figured I'd sell off a bunch of stuff. And I'm not, it's funny because people are like, dude, I can get this mod for $70. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to gouge anybody. It's just, I'm not using it. I feel like I want it to get into somebody's hands and I'd like a little bit of maybe some beer money. So, yeah.
Josh did that for me with the Vicious Ant setup. This was all bought from Josh. So
I had one of those, but I sent that to Mr. Just Right One because he helped me out when my billet box got stolen, and I had some billet box stuff coming in that I needed to review, and I was trying to buy one and I couldn't, on any of the groups or anything. I was like, I don't want to pay no $600 mods. I just need a freaking billet box. And he was like, dude, I got you. And I said, well, let me pay for it. And he goes, no, I'm just going to send you one. So he sent me a clear billet box. So I was like, anything else that I have? Let me, you've seen some of my videos. And he goes, you still have that Primo? I was like, I do. He said, I'll have that. I said, all yours, man. It's a fair trade.
One of those holy grail devices for me. And Josh hooked me up a good deal. So, yeah. I'll be forever grateful to Josh.
It was sat here not particularly being used because I just use these all the time. Like this. This is the limelight wicket.
Oh,
you see the limelight?
Yes, I have. I never have held a wicket, but that sounded funny.
I've got too many of them now. Like
he's got a handful of wickets. I have one Gloom, and I love that mod. That mod is actually in the cabinet. I don't use it much because I just want it to last. I do think I want to send it to him to get the switch redone because they have a newer switch, right?
Yeah, get the upgraded RAM chip put in it. Yeah,
I'd like to do that. I need to.
To be honest, a lot of mods circulate between all of us. Like we all do each other deals here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, we move around. No, but he really came through when I needed it. I was like, son of a, I got these things. I want to review them like next week. And he was like, dude, I got you. And then I ended up sending that one on. Do you know Matt Bennett from Bennett Customs makes the panels and stuff? I ended up sending that one to him. I was like, hey, look, this one has been, this is like a girl that's been passed around a party. I'm going to send it on to you. Oh, wait, did I say that?
Good evening, Brent. I hope you're well, brother.
Hey up, dude.
Number 3. Hey, I'm letting loose. It's Friday, man.
Yeah.
It's Friday here, and I've got the next 5 days off. I've just had a very long week.
Nice.
So I've been filming videos all day, and literally.
Do you? Okay, let me ask you this then. Do you film like a few of them and then edit them during the week and publish them as you go along, or what?
So these were for work. So I do like videos for work on products, and these were for our frequently asked questions page, and literally, so they were.
So is this like an interview type thing, or are you doing graphics?
Yeah, no. So basically, I just filmed them, but I have to say it all bang on right. This is like 4 pages worth of stuff, like word for word, which I hadn't learned stupidly. So I started at 9, and I finished at about 4:30, just solid, like sat there filming, like didn't get that right, do it again, didn't get that right, do it again. So it was came home, was like, great, now my camera doesn't work because it so I sat here for probably an hour.
Have you ever sat down and filmed for like 8 minutes and then go, shit, like the mic's not on or it's not on you?
Not recorded.
Son of a bitch.
I've done that so many times.
Like, and I'm filming in the shop as well, so we've got like a demonstration room for hi-fi and stuff, so I'm filming in there,
right? And
I'm in the middle of a good take, and someone just like walks in the room. It's like, can't use that one. Like,
you're like, dude,
why would you do that? So it's
bullocks.
It's been
Is that what you'd say?
And then we had stock take at the start of the week, which is always fun. So it's been a long week.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll actually film like all of the week's videos on Monday sometimes, if I'm like, I got a busy week, because this channel is not all I do. I actually do some volunteer work locally, and I've got a couple of, I actually run a photo, video, and voiceover business here. I'll do TV commercials, real estate videos, that kind of stuff. So if I'm like, oh man, this week's going to be busy and I got 3 videos, so I'll film them all on a Monday if that's the case. Well, a couple people caught on and they were like, how come you got the same shirt on every day? So now what I do is I take 3 shirts, put one on, I hang 2 of them over there, do the video, get up, take the microphone, put another shirt on. Okay. And then I've noticed halfway through the video, I'm like, son of a bitch, I was just talking about the other product. Rewind. Reset.
Not so often. Yeah, I think my best was, I think I did 5 in one day and had 5 different shirts hung up and 5 different hats. And...
Wow, man. That's pretty ambitious, bro. I think 3 is the most I've done.
It took me about 2 weeks to get around to do the editing, but it was done.
Yeah, because it takes a good long time to film one of these. And I remember when I first started, I was trying to do it all in one take. I was like, there's no effing way I can do this in one take. No. I figured I used to work in radio, so I figured, hey, I'll just do it like radio. I'll just go off the cuff. No, because then you make a mistake. You're like, shit, now I got to start again. And I would do like 5 takes, finally get it. But now it's really short because I tried to keep it as short as I could. So I was like, no. And then I started watching other channels and went, oh, these guys are editing. I'll just edit it.
It does make life so much easier.
It takes a good long time to film and edit one, and then upload it, and then write the description and get the thumbnail, and people don't know that.
I feel your pain, brother. I feel your pain.
I've noticed more and more reviewers doing more lives and stuff, which feel a bit more natural. But you do get the mistakes. But I think people like the odd mistake here and there.
Right.
I watch quite a lot
of lives.
Bogan's
I like Bogan's outtakes at the end, the bloopers. I thought about doing that, but I'm like, I don't want to take the idea. That's one of the things, like people, I get a lot of people that will say, hey, how do I start a channel? And what do I need? And what kind of equipment and this and that? And I'm like, well, first thing I'll tell you is don't try to be anybody else. Okay. Because I've seen channels where they're trying to be somebody else and you know exactly what they're trying to do. So just be you, whatever you are, just do that. And then don't worry about buying a bunch of expensive equipment because doing YouTube can get very pricey. So if you've got an iPhone or if your phone shoots 4K video, freaking use your phone.
It's amazing the quality you can get from a phone nowadays. A phone, crazy. A cheapish microphone, and you can get yourself quite a good little setup, really.
Yeah.
I just tripped back there, Tony, to Expo 5 years ago. That was virtually the exact words you first said to me when I asked you that question.
Right?
Yeah.
Same thing,
Absolutely.
Well, I've seen it. And when you're watching it, you're like, bro, just be yourself. I know there's someone in there.
You can't act for that long over that many different things in a different way.
As a program director in radio, part of my job was, as well as being a DJ, because I was the morning guy, but as a program director, part of my job was each week I had to sit down with the DJs. And I don't know how it is over there, but over here, every time we would press the microphone button, it would start a tape recorder that would record you. And so you were required to hold on to those tapes for FCC reasons, the communications, federal communications. And also because once a week you'd have to come sit with me and bring in the best night you had, right? So all I had to listen to was just the DJ, right? Because you don't hear the music every time they turn the mic on. So my job was to sit there and listen through the tape and go, all right, well, look, here's what and it's hard to do with a DJ because radio DJs have big egos and they need them in order to be radio DJs. And so you'd be like, well, bro, you're a little long on that break right there. And what was that song you played there? That's not on our playlist. And you brought me that tape. So I'm pretty good at helping people. And I've had people say, would you watch a few of my videos and give me some tips? I'm like, well, I'll be as honest as I can, but you don't work for me like the DJs did. I could tell them whatever I want.
You gave me great advice, Tony. You really did. And I must have pestered
I'm glad.
with the emails as well for God knows how long. And then I found you on Facebook, and then I could really stalk you.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, you've seen my real Facebook. So one thing that I try to do is I try to present the same thing in public as what I really am. And you see that on my Facebook page because that's me. Yeah. So I think one of the coolest things was when Grim Green was reviewing the Pulse 22, maybe it was, or it was 24. And he was like, all right, I just got to tell you, I've met Tony B. And I think he might be the nicest guy in the universe. And I was like, okay, that's a little bit humbling and a little bit embarrassing, but I was like, I really appreciated that, So that's why when I meet somebody at a show like that, I'm like, dude, you watch my channel. I am really appreciative of that. Crazy stories coming back from that show. I was in Heathrow, and somebody walks up to me. I'm walking looking for my gate and a pub, and somebody walks up to me and they go, mate, you're Tony B. I said, yeah, I am. Said that with a Southern accent. And I said, yeah, I am. So we stood there talking for a minute. Two other people came up. You're Tony B. I said, let's go to this pub right here. Sat in this pub for like an hour and a half, just drinking and having a good time, talking like friends. Like, I knew them for my whole life. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
I mean, I think that's one thing we all say that we love about the community is that you can just meet people randomly, sit down with them, chat with them. And that's what makes doing things like this so easy. Like, I know Vinny has met you before.
Right.
I've not personally spoke to you before. I've watched your channel, so I sort of get understand who you are and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But it's nice that you could just literally sit here and chat. And that's the difference because we're all here for the same thing. It's
absolutely
shooting the shit and not really even talking about vaping
live too. Yeah, I love that about live too. Like I said, wind me up and I'll talk. So sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Like I said, but before we came live, it just shows you as you. It's not sat there, you're doing a review. You've got to get these points across. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. The live just gives you a chance to show your personality and things like that. I mean, we've done all sorts with so many different people now on here, and it's great. I mean, we even managed to get Matt Calizo on, Tony. Actually came on and did a live.
That's cool.
Yeah. Our little channel got that.
Nice.
Yeah, we mentioned that last week, and I think the Brent and the guys in the chat afterwards were chatting to were like, "How did you do that?" It's like I honestly don't know. It's like
Vinny just happened
to him.
Well, Vaping Vinny is a very gregarious guy. So.
He's a big old guy. Yes, we'll agree.
I like big words.
No,
hey Brian, have a good one, man. He's taking off.
Brian, you'll have to come on the show at some point.
Oh, hell
yeah. I invited him a couple of weeks ago, actually.
I know. He's probably a super busy guy at the minute, man. Yeah. Probably trying to work out where he can get more business from to sell them. So.
Well, they sold them out pretty quick, so
they really did.
I just read he actually does want to come on, so we'll get that sorted out and get Brian on.
Well, I really think that the community is hungry for Boro devices that are affordable. I do. I think it's one of those things. It's almost like squonk. With squonk, I remember when I first got into it, I was like, killer, dude. I love this, man. So, I think the first one I got was like that Kanger one. Remember that? The Kanger.
Oh, God, yes.
Whatever. It was horrible. But the concept of being able to push that juice up in there was like, ooh, because I had gotten into dripping, but I was like, this sucks. I hate carrying around this freaking bottle. Blah, blah. I was getting it all over my hands and stuff. And I was like, I like this. So I started asking distros, hey, what kind of squonk stuff do you have? Because, I know people, and they were like, oh, we got this. We got the Pico and I was like, no. Then I started really digging into it, and I was like, holy crap, these things are $300-$400 a piece. Shit. I remember going to a convention in Atlanta, and I was like, I'm hot and heavy with the squonk. I had a couple of mechs. I was like, dude, the Arco. Anyways, I was showing that off to everybody, and they're like, oh, you need to go over to the Modders Gallery. I walked over there, and I saw a SVA. Is it the Penguin?
SVA makes some nice stuff, man.
Yeah, DNA 75. I was like, ooh, it's regulated. This thing is nice. I'm looking at it. I'm checking it out. I told the guy, I said, against my better judgment, I don't even care how much it is. How much is it? And he said, oh, it's $500. And I was like, oof. Got out my credit card, and he goes, no. I go, what? And he goes, no, you have to buy a ticket, and we do a drawing. Ticket's $5. You can buy as many as you want. We do a drawing every hour, and the person that gets pulled gets to buy one. I was like, so I was ready. I had
to buy a mod.
You had to pay to buy a ticket to go into a drawing to buy the mod.
Yeah,
I bought three tickets, $15. That's what I had cash in my pocket. I was like, son of a. So I didn't get drawn, and I was like, dude, I was about to buy a $500 mod. Well, now I've got a couple of billet boxes that are that one there. This thing is at least $600 with everything that's involved with it. But
tried the billet box, Tony. They're still out of my league completely at the moment.
It's like, well, the bug got me, and I had a little bit of money at the time, and I ended up with 4 of them. So, anyways, I use them a lot. But these AOs, even these have gotten expensive. Check it out. This right here, this is a red frosted one, so it's a limited edition. That was about $140. Got a battery wrap on here from ODB, so that's $4 or $5. The sturdy kit that's on here, see, it has this cool button. It's square. Ooh. And it has a little housing there and all this stuff. You take this off there. And the inner, okay, that was $135. $35 for the tip. And that is about $85 for the dot shell. So even this is like $300 or $400.
Yeah.
And you don't know it until it's too late, because you're like, yeah, it's only $80. I'll buy that. And then, yeah, it's only $130. I'll buy that. And then you look at it and you're like, holy shit.
If you like the dot shell, you'll like the tripod.
Oh well, I know their products are really good. I didn't love the vape shell. I don't know why I couldn't get the thing to work right for me. The vape snail, on the other hand, that's what's in this right here. Vape snail. It's good stuff. Anyways, I think I lost track of what I was talking about.
No, it gets like that. It gets like that, definitely. You know, I've done that at the minute with all the Limelight products. I've just fallen in love with what Dijon does and just gone.
How much do the wickets cost?
Depends. So it depends on the finish. They do a few different. They do lots of different finishes. So this is probably the cheapest of the lot. This is the Bliss.
White Delrin?
The white, yeah, the white. I think this is. I can't remember. They don't use Delrin. They use a different material. They use POM, which is like So for lots of stuff.
Listen. POM is Delrin. Okay?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Delrin is a brand name, like Corningware or Teflon.
Yeah.
So technically, none of these companies are allowed to say it's a Delrin tip or it's a Delrin anything unless they pay
to use
the rights to use the word Delrin.
Yeah.
And Delrin might say no because it's a vaping product. So POM is the same chemical compound.
But it's weird because the black one, that is classed as Delrin. They call that Delrin.
Okay.
So it's weird. So, but yeah, these are about the cheapest.
I could be wrong.
These are about £260 odd pounds at retail. And then you've got the walnut ones.
Yeah,
which are about $299, and then you've got a few other finishes like the this will be difficult to pick up. This is what they call pellucid or pellucide.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
So it's all sparkly inside, difficult to see, and that's got custom battery on it.
Okay.
And he's froze.
Hey, Brent.
That was me, man.
I'm looking forward to that. See, Brent came in too late. He didn't hear me saying that. Now, Brent said he was going to send me some wet biltong, which also sounds very special.
and then they do all their Stabwood ones, which go depending on you pick your Stabwood block, so it depends on the price of the block.
You froze,
That's
Josh.
cool.
Close up. That's why we all.
Yeah, you froze. That's why we started talking.
Fine.
But because that's one thing I always wanted was a nice like block that I chose. Gloom. I have the Delrin Gloom, but man, I tell you what, I really wanted one of those. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, Dijon will sort it out. Like you asked them to send you their block list, and they'll just send you a picture of all their blocks. They did it with these. So this is the latest one. This is the Wicket Mono Light. So this has the RAM chip in it, the RAM 2 chip in it. It's MOSFET. Yeah. But when they released these, they were like, well, you fill out the form, let us know what you want. And if you want Stabwood, we'll send you a picture of the blocks, and whichever block you pick, if it's already gone, it's gone. If it's not, then you pick another one, this, that, and the other. But I just went for the black one, which I quite like because nobody else bought a black one. So this is the true number one. So I was quite happy about that.
You see what Max said down there? Never play Trivial Pursuit with Tony. Oh man, I tell you what, Vinny, I'm sorry that you didn't come party with us while we were out there because we had a good time.
Yeah, it's been a strange few years for me, Tony. My nurse training took me 4 years to complete. Yeah. And now, obviously, I'm a nurse as well, so even the last expo we actually physically had, I could only manage to get 1 day off.
Right.
So I could only go and hang with the guys for 1 day, then I had to come back to the shift.
Are you ever on call too? So like you got to stay clear and.
No. Basically, I work 5 days. I do between 8 and 11 and a half, 12, 13 hours in a day, and then commute home as well. And that's 5 days a week. So that gives me 2 days off. So a mixture of juggling family time, recovering from work and then trying to get out here and do some videos and things like that. It's just
recovering over your stroke talk.
Yeah. We're trying to get off StreamYard and start using OBS. And me and Chris earlier tried a little experiment with OBS Ninja.
Yeah.
For some reason, I got all the feedback through my headphones, so I started
only you
really slowly. And my wife came into the studio and literally fell on the floor in hysterics, thinking that I'd had a stroke.
Are you all right?
There is a video of it in the LXV chat.
Yeah, Chris recorded it and shared it, and after seeing it back, I can see why it was so funny.
He's in slow-mo, like, oh, burger.
Yeah. Tony, if you want it, if you want a copy of it, hit me up. Okay. I'll send it you happily.
Okay. No copies to be given out.
Yeah.
I'll just put that. I'll start posting it everywhere. I'll put it on Instagram and everything.
There you go.
Maybe I'll slow it down a little bit more.
But yes, yeah. I love my job though, Tony. I wouldn't change it for the world.
That is cool.
It's been a calling in my life for a long while, and I eventually got where I wanted to be. So,
well, I think that's wonderful. Yeah, I tell you this: when the pandemic hit here and things, not just with the channel got slow, but my business and everything else, I was like, man, I was writing more music and doing things like that, but I was like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything, So I happened to walk into the post office, and right there on the cork board there was a thing for Meals on Wheels to deliver meals to seniors, homebound seniors. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I called them. I'm now doing that. I'm also volunteering at the local food pantry, the food bank. It's just, because to me, like you spoke of, my passion when I think of what do people need the most, there's two things. You got to have, clothes and food.
Yeah.
Because even if you don't have a roof over your head, you're going to need clothes and food. And so, and those are two things that I might be able to have an effect on. I can't buy people houses. I can't put them in homes, but I could probably give them some food and clothes.
Yeah, it's like when the pandemic really hit hard here, we had major food shortages and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And all the supermarkets and the shops opened early to let the healthcare staff in to go buy their food, just to make sure we had the food to get the energy we needed to carry on going and caring for people.
Sure.
And I'm so grateful for that, because the worry in my mind of not being able to feed myself, the kids, and everything else, and that enabled me to do my job a lot better, knowing that they'd done that for us. And forever.
That's amazing. That's really good.
So grateful.
So what is the status in the UK now? Are you guys on lockdown still at all, or
it's
what?
still on lockdown until the end of this month, and then it starts to be lifted slowly.
Okay, so if you look at the United States, Texas is like, we don't need anything. I'm like, okay, so you just had a huge storm there, an ice storm that, I don't know, took out the power for millions. And you're like, let's just not worry about it.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. It's crazy. Like, that's one thing about, the United States, they allow the states to, say, whatever they want to do with this stuff. So, if the states is like Florida and Texas are both like, we're lifting all the restrictions. Everybody can go do what they want to do. I'm like, look, I understand that people are getting vaccines and all that, but, it's still there. It's not gone just because they started giving vaccines.
I mean, all the shops that have been classed as non-essential here are all closed still. So they can run a click and collect service and things like that, which our vape shops are doing, and Josh is doing as well in his business, their shop. But you can't actually go in and browse or anything like that at the moment.
Right.
All leisure activities are still all closed. They're going to be the last things to open back up in the end of June.
End of June, provisionally end of June.
Yeah, provisionally the end of June, as long as the numbers continue going down. but we've obviously, I think it's over 20 million we've vaccinated now. So hopefully
21 million. Apparently, it's a BBC News.
Having a knock-on effect.
It's the one thing they've got bang on right is the vaccination program. It's been spot on, I think. I mean, I had my first one the other day, and it was.
Is it all done through the government?
Yeah.
No, it's the NHS.
NHS, yeah. So yeah,
doing it. It's.
But I've got to say, I was amazed at how it was done. It was like, went into the health clinic that it was in, and it was like a military operation. It was so well done. I was just like, I just said, this is amazing the way you're doing it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's come here, make you sit down for 15 minutes afterwards. Everything's clean. Just to make sure. I was just like, it's so amazing the way you're doing it. The amount of people you're getting in and having it done on this. But it was just done so well. It was amazing. Cool. It's the one thing I think they've got bang on right. And
some of the vaccine centres are doing like 4,000 and 5,000 vaccines a day, and you've got to think we've got like hundreds of these up and down the country now doing it. Our government has actually, I think they came out and said every adult will have their first injection by I think it was August, wasn't it now? By the start of August, every adult in the UK should have been offered a vaccine if they want one.
Are they, what about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? Are they going to do that there or what?
I don't think that's gone through our approval yet. We have the Pfizer one and the Oxford one at the moment.
Well, see, Johnson & Johnson is one shot.
We've got the Moderna as well, haven't we? The Moderna.
Yeah, Moderna.
Well.
And there's a new one. There's the T side, the one that's made up in Newcastle, which shouldn't be long away from approval. The T side vaccine or whatever that is, but I think that'll only really be available here.
So the Johnson & Johnson's a one shot, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is one shot. But so they said, the Johnson & Johnson one is one shot, but it's quote 75% effective. Whereas the other is 95% effective. But what they're saying is that with the one-shot one, if you do get sick, it will be like nothing. It'll be like a cold.
Yeah.
Instead of like you're in the hospital and you die. Yeah. You know, so I'm like, man, I think I want the one-shot one because it seems a little bit easier.
I think the standard one you get offered over here at the minute is Pfizer.
It's the one we bought in bulk so much.
My mum had
the Pfizer. Sorry, Josh. The Pfizer doesn't come in little vials. It actually comes in quite a big, large bottle. Okay, and obviously, because that needs to be kept at a certain temperature to keep it active.
Oh, right.
As you bring a bottle out, that bottle needs to be used. So I think you have like a 4-hour window. So as soon as they get them out, it's just go. That's why it's like a military operation, Josh. You get in, you get your jab, you go sit for your 15 minutes, go out, next people in.
Like I said, but I know not everybody can have the Pfizer. Like my mum was offered, and they said to her, "Have you got any history of this?" She said, "Well, I've got a history of anaphylactic shock." And they're like, "You can't have the Pfizer. You have to have the Oxford." And they had to order the Oxford in for her, and she went to her local GP to have it done, which is not here. We've got we've got a vaccination centre up at a big place, and then there's the one where I went to, which is a health clinic and exit. That's where everybody goes. But it seems like if they're all Pfizer, and if you need something else, you're having it done at your local GP. So, but I've got to admit, it made me feel groggy for a couple of days. I felt proper like I don't know. Last Friday,
from the first shot or the second one?
That was the first.
Okay. See, all I got was a sore arm, and it was a bit stiff. So
done on the Friday. It was
fine. But it was.
Woke up Saturday. Did have my arm hurt a bit. Sunday, Monday, I was proper groggy. But
I had a little bit of soreness in the arm where they injected it, but nothing. It was completely fine. Yet my wife, who has a lot of health problems and who I care for, hasn't even been invited to have it.
I don't get that, Chris. I really don't. I told you.
I don't.
And again, there might be a reason, Chris. They might be waiting for a particular
version of
one to come to be available.
That's a good point.
Possibly.
Maybe they've gone right. Well, she can have it, but she can't have the Pfizer, which is the one available. We need to wait for Oxford or Moderna to be available so she can have it. Then they'll offer it. That might be the reason why.
Generally, would communicate that though as well.
Yeah.
You'd think.
Especially when they call me up and I ask, say, well, what about my wife as well? Because she's got an immune problem. She's also, housebound. she has troubles. And I'm like, well, she's not on this list. She might be on the next one next week. And I haven't heard anything. It's been, 3 weeks now since I had mine. So,
I'd keep going.
Sorry, guys.
Like I told you. You're right, Tony.
I was going to say, I have somebody that's texting me here about something that here in my community. I'm like, Anyways, yeah. Well, look, I just hope everybody, does what's best for them when it comes to that stuff. Because a lot of people are like, I don't want to take it. Well, I take the flu shot every year. I used to not, but I started taking it when I didn't have health care anymore. I was like, well, this is kind of my insurance because I've had the flu. I don't want it. It sucks.
It's not nice.
So, I started getting that shot. So, even my wife's like, I don't know if I want to get that. And I don't know. I think I might need it. I'm considered an essential worker. I'm delivering meals to homebound seniors. That's probably a good idea that I do it. Yeah. I mean, even just for them. But who knows? Hey, look, if we hadn't taken the polio vaccine, polio would be rampant and people would be dying. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes got all this was a little one that said, hey, got polio? No, thanks, science. And it was just like, well, there's a lot of people out there going, and everyone's welcome to their own choice. If they don't want it for a particular reason, this, that, and the other, that's fine. But, it's amazing how many people out there that have told they might not be allowed to go to the pub unless they've had a vaccine. They're like, oh, I'll have it now. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's
well, Dolly Parton in the U.S. She's considered a national treasure for country music. She changed Jolene to vaccine. Don't you not take that vaccine and you will die, or something like that.
She personally donated like $6 million to the research of a vaccine, didn't she?
Something like that.
Yeah, which is amazing. That's why people wondered how they got the vaccine so quickly, because people did things like that.
Yes.
And it was a massive worldwide effort to get a vaccine for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's when people say, well, how did they do it so fast? I'm like, well,
the red tape got.
Luckily, science is amazing and it can work stuff like this out pretty quickly when they all get together and put their minds to it.
Yeah.
and all the red tape gets cut.
That also helped Chris massively. Yes.
My wife is working down the hall in the office, and she just said, "Seriously, like, don't talk about me. Don't you be talking about me." Anyways, well, guys, I got to get going. I got some stuff I got to do here, but I really appreciate you guys having me on, and I'm so glad that Vinny, that you got your stuff going, man.
Yeah,
took that advice and ran.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Tony. It's been an absolute pleasure, sir, to have you on. You are a gent and a scholar.
I'd love to come back on. I have a Tony B project that is coming soon. So when that comes out, maybe we should revisit this.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Most definitely, Tony.
It's something I've been working on for about a year.
It's been fascinating listening to you all night tonight.
You're going to give us an exclusive. You're going to give us an exclusive on it.
I don't know. my channel will have the exclusive on it. Well, but hey,
after outside channel.
Yeah,
Vinny, any of you guys contact me and we'll get it going as soon as you see me start talking about it on socials.
Definitely.
All right,
Tony, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it, man. I do.
Yeah, right. Take care, Tony, and keep safe, brother.
All right, we'll see you, man.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Tony. Thank you.
Bye.
How does this work? Okay, here.
There you go. Tony's got what an absolute legend and a gent he is. Like I said,
yes,
he helped me so much when I first started off. It was literally a month after I started my channel, and I went into Expo, and he came and talked to me. He approached me, and it was just, his advice still sticks in my ears and still rings in my ears today. And I'll be completely honest here. Having Tony on tonight is kind of giving me a bit of a boost. I was on the verge of quitting. Yes. Chris knows. I haven't talked to anyone else about this. I was on the verge of quitting the channel and everything.
Don't quit on me, bitch. I can't do this on my own.
And I think that's just giving me the kick up the ass I needed. That was the perfect tonic for me, having Tony and actually been able to see him again. It was superb. He's one of the genuine nice guys in vaping, and yeah.
We've
my next door neighbours in his back garden smoking weed, and I'm getting the fumes coming in the carriage. And it's really quite nice. But
it's been an absolute pleasure to have Tony on. Like you said earlier, one of the absolute nice guys of the vaping world. You know, and it's funny when he said earlier, obviously we're talking about the Abyss, and it's like it's been such a hot product. It's nice to see something that's come out and made like borrow stuff affordable and happened with Squonk, and he was the guy that made the Squonk stuff affordable and brought it to the masses. And this is it. That's what I wanted to get to as well. You know, we just got off track, but you know, he did that. He's been there and done that with the Pulse, and I know the
into the masses.
Yeah, I know the Pulse had its
very exclusive, very high end.
The Pulse was cheap, but who didn't have a Pulse? I know I had a Pulse. I know you both had a Pulse.
I would a clown come for the Pulse.
Hands up, guys, just put in the chat if you own a Pulse or not. If you own a Pulse, I mean, I'm sure pretty much everybody in the chat owned a Pulse or has used the Pulse.
Buy them new for about £8-9.
Yeah, because you bought one because they were cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Nick's still got one.
I haven't got one anymore. I'm quite sad. I
always wanted that acid green one. I could never get my hands on one ever.
Same.
I had a Pulse of grey doors, and I bought some blue doors, and then I had a Pulse 22 on top of it. Yeah. And I think if you ever for my Instagram picture, for all my years in Immortal was actually me blowing a cloud, and if you look through my hand, it was a Pulse. Like, I'm not even joking. For all that time I was on Immortal and all sorts of stuff, it was just me vaping on a Pulse.
So Pulse 1.0, 1.5 on build, and it will do you very
single
nicely.
coil.
Yeah, it'll do you very nicely.
I'm tempted to buy it as well, especially at £8.
Yeah, they're about £8-9 on some sites now, Chris.
That's tempting.
The only issue I found with the Pulse is it came at that time where you had 18650s, which were all right, and obviously it took a 2700, and the 2700s were just shit.
I was very lucky with 2700s.
Like,
I got
you
some
had
good Sanyo ones.
What you had the Sanyos.
Yeah.
You had the Sanyo 2700s, and the Sanyo 2650s were really good, but they were super hard to get. Anyone doesn't know, it's Panasonic Sanyo, so it made really good batteries. But the other ones you could get were like the
iJoys
and the iJoy.
The iJoy rewrap gash.
5 legs. Well, no, there was the 4 legs and the 5 legs, and the 5 legs were all right.
I had the 4-leg one, and they hit like they just hit like a wet fart in the wind.
You had the 4-leg ones. You were better off trying to power your vape with a hamster in a wheel, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, just one of those, you know. And
cheers, Brent. I'm glad you've enjoyed what we've done tonight. We didn't really talk that much vaping, did we?
No.
It's one of those lovely organic conversations that we love doing on the LXV.
Yeah, and that's why we don't really plan our show. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it backfires.
When we know we've got someone like Tony coming on, we don't need to plan it, because the guy is just such a natural speaker, and as you've seen tonight, I've got a lot of love for Tony. A lot of love for Tony.
And Brent, cheers for tuning in, and cheers for all your boys tuning in as well. Like I said, thanks to all the BBC crew.
And it's nice talking to you like in the other chat last week as well.
Oh yeah, it was great on that Zoom.
That was actually really
good. How long was you in the Zoom for after last week?
We were in there till about midnight. A couple of hours. It was good. It's good chatting to all those guys.
Yeah, it was quite nice having a nice chat in there. End up literally.
And this is something I think we might do when we go on to OBS. We might just do a bit of a call afterwards with anybody that wants to hop in for a bit. You know, I know Vinny might not always stay, but if people want to come and chat with us afterwards and just shoot the shit and
there will be
Just
other ones.
prepared.
Well, we've not quite sat and discussed this yet, but there will be other ones as well. I was thinking about doing a couple of daytime ones, just opening up, just if anyone wanted to jump on and shoot the shit and have a chat and whatever. Because I sit here a lot of the time doing things, and I could be talking to people and just chilling out and stuff while I'm doing it. So we'll see how it goes.
And I'll tell you what the last few weeks have taught me with the amazing guests we've had on. Obviously, we've had Tony, we've had Brent. Obviously, we have Rabbit back on. We had Johnny from Overkill. You know, is that we get people come in the chat all the time saying that the vape community is dead, and it's 100% not.
No, it's completely still alive.
Amazing people out there still.
It may have slowed down a bit, and if you think the vape community is dead, you're in the wrong groups.
Yeah.
And you're talking with the wrong people. And I know that sounds a bit harsh, but yeah.
It's true though.
Like, there's so much love out there for what we're all doing and what these guys are doing. Like sitting in that Zoom chat with on the BBC Live chat last week, on that Zoom chat afterwards, there was me and Chris, Brent, and 5 other guys I'd never met before, and we were all chatting like we've known each other for years, like exactly like what Tony said. And it was just great, you know. It was just absolutely great. So,
don't forget half the chat's topless as well.
What I love, and I'm going to be completely honest here, we get a maximum of, say, 30 live viewers on at any one point. We generally get around 1,000 views off various platforms every week. Yet we've had Matt Calizo from Perch, which no one's had. We've just had Tony B on, one of the biggest names in vape design and everything else for the last few years. It's not about numbers. These guys like coming on and talking and just chilling out with like-minded people. And that's what I need. Like I said, I needed tonight. Tonight's done me the power of good. Yeah.
Damn right, Neil.
Gotta be topless. Guys, you look so great flying.
Behind the scenes snippet, the second we've gone offline, this shirt comes right off, and those two both complain.
That was the worst thing last week. Obviously, in the Zoom afterwards, the rules are shirts are optional. So Chris just sat there with his top off.
Yeah,
and nobody.
This house is like a sauna. What do you want me to do?
Turn the fucking heating off.
The heating's not been on for 2 days, and it's still hot.
Are you in the middle of a terrace then, Chris? Is that what it is?
I'm at the end of the terrace.
Oh, right. So you've not even got
to
heat
my right, that side. No, I've only got heat coming from that side.
Their heating bill is then to the one you're attached to.
Well, heating from that side, but then nothing that side. That's literally straight. So when I was talking to you, the window that you see behind me at the time, that leads right onto the street. Hence why that curtain's always closed. Because my TV is directly opposite.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Okay.
That's the guided tour around Chris's lounge, folks.
Next, I'll give you the guided tour, you bog. Please don't.
And that'll be after show.
If you're gonna do it, go and scrub the bowl first, yeah.
Why?
I've got
add to the aroma. I just add to the flavour of the room.
Man, what a dude Tony was, man.
Man, it's amazing to have Tony on. Like, I mean, amazing to have Tony on. The only thing I have realised we haven't done, none of us have actually invited any more guests on the show.
Yeah, I actually realised that about
for next week. So we've been concentrating on the last couple of guests so much, like we're having Brent on last week and Tony on this week, that we've sort of forgot to invite more guests on. I did actually invite a few people. They flatly refused me. I went a bit, maybe I...
How high did you go? Come on, name them.
Come
Mike
on.
Vapes.
Mike said no.
Well, Mike didn't actually. I got a message back from Mike saying, "Thank you, thank you for showing your interest. I'm on holiday right now." Or something like that. It seemed like an automated reply, but I know. Talking to other people, Mike doesn't really like lives, which is fine. You know, he doesn't have to do them, which is cool. I also went Brian TVC, but I haven't heard anything back.
That's a shame.
Maybe I should have gone with the other one from the from those three.
Yes,
But you know, I didn't quite go grim or bogan.
Well, I went bogan. Unfortunately, the time difference is the issue there.
Yeah, the time difference is the massive. Yeah, that's it. That's what I should have tried. I should have tried Fagan. Should have tried the other one.
Fagan would be a good shout.
Yeah, man, I can message Fagan. I mean, I'll put a punt out. They can only say no.
I was trying to think who else I could go to. I mean, I know Brian from Vapors Clouds.
Yeah, we'll definitely try and get Brian on. I'd like to chat to Brian. Obviously, he's had great success with the Abyss. I was going to say to him earlier, congratulations. And yeah, man, they've done, they've got some of the biggest devices out there. Why am I getting weird feedback?
I heard a strange buzzing then.
Yeah, get some weird feedback.
I'm guessing, I'm going to whisper this. I'm guessing Brian hasn't seen a lot of the other stuff we've said about their products. But
mate, I'll be open.
I'm like assholes. Everyone's got one.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Vapors Cloud fan. I've never have been, but
I am. I like Vapors Cloud. There are a fair few that I've seen that I do want, especially that 21700.
If we get Brian on, Chris is going to disappear up his ass.
TVC not on YouTube anymore. Has TVC just disappeared? Is he?
Yeah, he went with the one he was called, I think.
Oh, I liked Brian.
I got the feedback again then. That's weird.
Yeah, I can hear my voice back through my headphones.
Yeah, I've got you on echo.
Could you be me?
Just mute yourself a second, Chris.
Is it Chris? No.
No, it's not me then. Is it Vinny from when he was messing earlier on? And are we going to get a repeat earlier?
You have a stroke again.
That was absolutely hilarious. Oh, what? Was it you? Is it you, Josh?
It is actually Josh. I'm not getting the echo now.
But it's just unmuted.
I'm on again.
Yeah. Oh well, never mind. Yes, dear, I've had a rough week stuck in with the children because I've been on annual leave prior to my birthday. Yes.
Anyway, chat. If there's any guests you'd like us to try and get on, we will ask. We will ask anybody. Brazenly and blatantly. At the end of the day, they can only say no, and if they say no, I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
I tell you, I've just had a thought. Get the wooden spoon out of it. Yes, dear. Right then, guys, should we wrap up, or should we have a chill out, or? I think everyone's gone now. Tony's gone.
Yeah, there's only a few people left. I mean,
do they want us to stay on?
I'm sure not, Chris. Really, I'm sure they've probably got better things to go do. So,
and everybody that's watching is currently watching in Vaping Vinny reviews.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wow.
All on YouTube.
One week, Josh, which I run past you. Vape news.
Suicide mods have declared they're shutting down.
No.
I'm not Death Wish, sorry.
Death Wish
mods.
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at suicide mods
earlier.
Let's
not half-heartedly cover that. We can cover that next week, along with the World Health Organization, which I shall have to tread quite carefully with. But yes, we will cover those next week, I think. Especially if we don't have a guest on, because then that gives me a chance to.
Well, we've got to not have a guest on at some point because we've got a
new segment to try out.
We've got a new segment to try out. When
I need to know when that wants to be done so I can get the stuff ordered.
Next week?
No, Chris, not next week. It needs to be planned.
I would say give it 2 weeks.
Right, I'll speak to Kenny and get that sorted then.
I say, do we plan anything?
We try to, Chris. We try to.
Well, me and Vin plan stuff. We
Yeah.
might.
I'll just get told what to do. Point in the direction, go. No, I don't.
I got an idea one week. Why don't we start opening some open auditions for a new panel member?
Yeah.
What a thought.
I reckon that could be quite interesting. If anyone is interested in
I'm
joining LXV.
I'm really hoping at some point we'll see Andy back.
Yeah, Andy will be back.
And obviously we will have we have decided that we'll definitely have Rabbit on more, not every week, but probably once a month to come on, give us the state of play on the States, and Johnny's definitely going to come on and do more shows. These guys are going to be more like regular guests,
special correspondents. I think that's what they call them in the media.
Yeah, like regular guests / in and out panel members. Yeah, I'm sure we are planning on creating an after show green room, definitely. Like even if it's just an hour after the show, like just so that people can come in and chat and chill if they're not quite finished and they want to chat. And
that will be free. There will not be no patron charges or anything like that.
No.
Until we get you all sucked in and get you going, and then we'll stick it on Patreon. I'm joking, people.
That's not us. We do it because we love it. We don't do it because we want to make any money. We just do it because I do it because I enjoy chatting with you guys, and I enjoy.
My wife actually wants to on the show. That would be horrendous, dear. I'm sorry. I'd have to put gag orders on all of these.
I mean, that might be a good. That might be
a good idea.
That might be a good shout. Can we put a
who's going to look after my kids if the wife's in here with me?
Sorry, Helen.
You can be in there watching the kids.
So Nick said possibly get Maxime from Deathwish on the show. See if we can see what's going down. And I mean, I don't think it will happen. I think if it's done, it's done, and he's not really going to want to talk about it. But we can ask.
Yeah, I don't think Max would come on. I've tried to get Max on before and got a flat no.
It's not Maxime, I don't think, in all fairness. But
no.
One of those. But we'll be working on some guests again soon. Next week it'll just be a normal show. We'll have all the normal segments back. Cool. If any of the chat have any call suggestions, please just chuck them over to us. I mean, we've got loads anyway. I'd rather it be kind of newer products, but if you've got an older
products, people.
Like we can do older products, but it's got to be something kind of special, or something that's kind of game changing, or something that's, we don't want any old tat, because we could do everything. But if any of you guys got something you want to see, this, that, and the other, please just hit us up. We'll do our best.
Yeah. And the LXV page, there's the LXV Lounge on Facebook, VVR on Facebook. Go check them out, go follow them, and drop in messages there. And that would be awesome to get some feedback off you guys.
Or just message one of us personally if you're friends on Facebook and just say this is for LXV. I know Mr. Moss. I know it was a lot longer ago. Mr. Moss messaged me and he wanted me to do something with the intro.
All right.
Yeah. That little video, you, Vinny?
Oh, yeah. Let's save that until we get the switch over to OBS. Then we can start fiddling around with things.
But yeah. And I think on that note, we'll wrap it up.
Definitely. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in. And again, thank you to Mr. Tony B for joining us tonight. What an awesome show. And what just general good egg he is. Say goodbye, fellas.
Goodbye, fellas.
Bye.
Ta-da.